Have you ever wondered what secrets lie frozen in the snow at the top of the world? At over 8,000 meters above sea level, where the air is thin and every breath feels like fire, there rests a man, known not by his name, but by his green boots. For decades, he has become a silent symbol of Everest's deadly beauty, a haunting reminder that not everyone who climbs the mountain comes back. This is the story of Green Boots. High above the clouds, the death zone of Mount Everest begins. Here, oxygen levels drop to a third of what we breathe at sea level. The human body starts shutting down. The brain slows, muscles weaken, and even simple movements feel impossible. It's a place where nature doesn't forgive mistakes. One wrong step, one wrong decision can cost everything. In 1996, a climber from India, Siwang Paljor, joined an expedition attempting to reach the summit from the north side. He was young, full of determination, and had spent years training for this moment, the chance to stand on the highest point on Earth. But on the night of May 10th, the mountain had other plans. A violent storm swept across Everest, reducing visibility to almost zero. Temperatures dropped below -40 degrees Celsius. Communication broke down. Teams got separated, and in the chaos, Paljor and his teammates never made it back. Days later, when other climbers passed through a narrow limestone cave along the route, they saw a man lying on his side, wearing bright green mountaineering boots. The cold perfectly preserved his body. He looked as if he were simply resting, his face turned toward the wall, but he never moved again. That man became known around the world as Green Boots. For years, every climber who ascended via the north route had to pass by him. There was no avoiding it. He was right beside the main path, at around 8,500 meters. He became an unintentional landmark, a checkpoint of tragedy. Climbers would say, once you pass Green Boots, you're close to the top. It was a chilling sentence, a blend of awe and sorrow. But Green Boots wasn't just a body on the mountain. He became a symbol of ambition, sacrifice, and the fine line between courage and risk. He reminded everyone that Everest is not just a climb, it's a confrontation with death itself. Every year, hundreds of climbers still walk past him. Some stop for a moment of silence, some whisper a prayer, and others, too focused on survival, simply move on. But all of them feel it, that heavy presence in the air, the weight of every lost dream that the mountain holds. Everest has claimed over 300 lives since the first attempts to climb it. The mountain's extreme conditions make recovery almost impossible. Helicopters can't reach those altitudes. Rescue teams risk their own lives for every step. So most of the fallen remain where they took their last breath, frozen in place, becoming part of the mountain itself. And yet, every year people still come. They come with hope, with pride, with the dream of touching the sky. They know the risks, they know the stories. But something about Everest calls to them, that timeless human desire to conquer what seems impossible. Over the years, climbers reported seeing Green Boots' body shift position slightly, or covered in snow or hidden from view. Some believed the winds had moved him. Others thought the mountain was trying to bury its secrets. In 2014, his body reportedly disappeared from the usual spot, perhaps moved to protect his dignity, or maybe concealed by ice. But his legend never vanished. To this day, no one can walk that route without feeling his presence, because Green Boots is no longer just a man. He's a memory, frozen in time, watching over every climber who dares to follow. And there's a haunting truth behind it all. At such high altitude, when climbers see someone in distress, helping them often means risking their own life. The cold seeps in faster than compassion can act. Many have had to make unthinkable choices, to walk past someone dying, to survive themselves. That's the brutal reality of Everest. It's not heartlessness, it's survival. There are countless stories of climbers who saw Green Boots on their way up, only to join him on the way down. The mountain doesn't choose its victims. It simply reminds us of how fragile we are. But perhaps the most powerful part of Green Boots' story isn't his death. It's his silence. In that silence lies a message that human ambition, no matter how great, must bow before nature. That sometimes, in our quest to rise higher, we forget how small we truly are. Green Boots never spoke again, yet his stillness tells a story louder than words ever could. He represents every climber who dared to dream, who faced the mountain not out of arrogance, but out of love for adventure. He reminds us that beauty and danger often exist side by side, and that glory, sometimes, comes with a cost too high to bear. When the sun rises over Everest, its golden light touches the icy slopes and the quiet forms resting there. The world below moves on. New climbers train, new expeditions prepare. But up there, in the thin air of the death zone, time stands still. Green Boots remains, not as a warning to stop climbing, but as a whisper to never forget. Because the mountain never forgets. It keeps every story, every triumph, and every tragedy frozen in its heart. And somewhere in that eternal cold, Green Boots sleeps, a guardian of dreams, a symbol of humanity's eternal reach for the impossible. Even now, as you hear this story, thousands prepare to climb the same path, chasing the same goal. Some will return with joy, others will not. But every one of them will pass through that same narrow cave where a man in green boots once lay, watching silently as they climbed to the sky. And maybe, just maybe, when they do, they'll remember him, not for how he died, but for what he stood for. The unbreakable spirit of those who dare to dream higher than the clouds.